Alright, what's up everybody? Brian here, and this is my Impact Wrestling review for last night's episode of Impact Wrestling. And what a good show it was last night. So let's get right into it. We started off with Eli Drake, one half of the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, who also has the case for a world title shot that he can cash in at any time, and he has decided last night that he is going to cash in next week against Pentagon Jr., the current Impact Wrestling World Champion. So that is a huge match set for next week with the world title on the line. Eli Drake challenging Pentagon Jr. Eli will be cashing in his world title case next week. Pentagon came out on last night's episode and basically said zero fears, zero miedo. Basically what that means, zero fear. So that is, like I said, that's a huge match taking place next week. Huge opportunity for Eli Drake to get back his world title from Pentagon Jr., but we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. Let's see, we had some other segments throughout the show setting up matches for next week, as well as other matches down the line. One was involving Moose. He was doing an interview when Jimmy Jacobs interrupted and basically challenged Moose to face his monster, Congo Kong. So that is a huge match set for next week as well. We also found out that LAX are going to be taking on DJ Z and Andrew Everett next week. And there was one other match, I think, that they announced for next week. It's a four-way match with, I think it's Aerostar, Drago, Phantasma, and Taiji Ishimori, with the winner getting a shot at the X Division Championship. I think that's another match that's going to be taking place next week. We saw OVE defeat KM and Fallah Bahh. An unlikely tag team in KM and Fallah Bahh. KM trying to get Fallah Bahh to, follow him as far as, him being a mentor to Fallah Bahh. This matchup was somewhat okay, but there was some funny moments like KM and Fallah Bahh having Dave and Jake Christ on the mat and just basically rolling over them on their back, rolling on their backs. That was pretty funny, but OVE, they defeated KM and Fallah Bahh. We had a rematch from Redemption. It was Taya Valkyrie taking on Kiera Hogan. Not much of a match. It ended with Tessa Blanchard getting involved, attacking Kiera Hogan, and basically leaving her laying, obviously setting up some kind of feud for Tessa Blanchard with Kiera Hogan. This basically came about because of what happened in an interview with that Kiera Hogan was doing. Tessa Blanchard interrupted, saying that that she's better than Kiera Hogan and all this stuff. And Kiera Hogan came back and said about, you know what, the only thing you do best is sit down and watch matches. And that's basically what set off Tessa coming out during Kiera's match against Taya Valkyrie and attacking her and leaving her laying with the Hammerlock DDT. So that was basically it for that. And what was a fantastic an awesome six-man tag team match. It was fought under Lucha Libre rules. It was Drago, Aerostar, and Phantasma taking on DJZ, Andrew Everett, and Desmond Xavier. A lot of high-flying moves in this one, especially near the end. DJZ scored the win for his team with the ZDT to Aerostar off the top rope. Andrew Everett took a real sick bump in this matchup. Near the end, he was going to look like he was going to go for a Hurricane Rana or something to Aerostar, and Aerostar pushed him. He landed back first onto the ring apron and fell to the floor, and that is what allowed that allowed DJZ to run up and grab Aerostar and hit him with the ZDT to score the win. In what was an amazing matchup. I would recommend checking it out and judging for yourself. But I thought it was an amazing matchup. What else? I mentioned earlier about Taiji Ishimori in that four-way next week. He actually got an opportunity on last night's episode at the X Division Championship against Matt Sydal. This was a pretty good match. I thought it was pretty good. Matt Sydal retained the X Division Championship with the pump-handled driver that he defeated Petey Williams with back at Redemption to retain that X Division Championship, and proving that he's actually coming up with new ways to win. You know, he has that shooting star press that he does, airborne. He has that. That's the shooting star press. But now he has this pump handle driver that leads into a pin, which is a wrestling move that could be used as a finishing move. So it shows that Matt Sydal is adding on to his repertoire. Is basically what it is. Speaking of Ishimori, a little bit of news coming out of New Japan. He is now a part of the Bullet Club, apparently, at their one of their shows that they had. I believe it happened today is May the 4th here in the U.S. In New Japan, he joined Bullet Club, attacked Will Ospreay, who is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So Taiji Ishimori, a part of Bullet Club, going to be a part of the Junior Heavyweight division in New Japan. So that's a big bit of news there. Another bit of news having to do with Austin Aries is that he is going to be competing for Ring of Honor, challenging current Ring of Honor World Television Champion Silas Young at the War of the Worlds Tour. And one of those dates for the War of the Worlds Tour. So that is huge. Of course, Austin Aries is the current Impact Grand Champion, looking to become Impact World Champion again whenever he gets this opportunity. So, but those are two huge news stories involving Impact Wrestling stars. We had, once again, another portion of involving Eddie Edwards. If you remember last week, Eddie Edwards attacked Sami Callihan at the in a hospital. Apparently he got arrested. He got bailed out of jail by Tommy Dreamer. Dreamer tried talking to him about his past rivalry with Raven, saying it took 3 to 4 years off of his career, of wanting revenge on Raven, and he sees Eddie Edwards heading down that same road. Basically, Eddie Edwards seemed like he blew him off, basically saying that, Tommy, you're not my dad. You don't need to talk, giving him a talk. Basically, just blowing him off. So obviously, this is continuing this whole feud with Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards. Now Tommy Dreamer's involved, trying to get Eddie to to basically say that this is over. Basically saying this is over between between Eddie and Sami, but obviously Eddie Edwards not having none of it. So this storyline, like I said last week, I'm intrigued by this storyline of where this is going to end up, how this is going to end. We'll have to wait and see. And then the main event was Rosemary taking on Su Yung. This basically stemmed from what happened last week, where after a knockout title defense by Allie, Su Yung attacked her and then unveiled her undead bridesmaids, who came out with a coffin, and Rosemary made the save saved Allie from being put in that coffin by Su Yung last week. This week, this matchup didn't really happen. It was a no contest because they fought on the outside. Su Yung hit the panic switch on Rosemary on the arena floor, then brought out the undead bridesmaids, who brought the coffin out. Allie came out, attacked Su Yung after Rosemary told her earlier in the show not to come to the ring. She came out. She went after Su Yung, and then the undead bridesmaids. Sorry about that, guys. They grabbed Allie. They held her. Su Yung grabbed Rosemary and took her to the top of the stage. Gave her the panic switch off the stage through a table that was on the floor. Then brought her back to had two of the undead bridesmaids take Rosemary back to the coffin, and Su Yung proceeded to put Rosemary into the coffin and shut the lid. And that was pretty much, and all of this happened while Allie was being forced to watch all of this. So obviously this continues that feud with Su Yung and Allie. Basically, Su Yung sending a message to Allie that now your demon assassin friend can't come and save you. And so that was pretty much it for Impact last night. My overall thoughts on last night's episode was, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed the 6-man tag team exhibition match they had. They also did a thing for Brian Cage. They showed him winning a 4-way match in Australia. But my overall thoughts was, I thought it was a pretty good show. Before I forget, we saw the return of Grado in a backstage segment, talking with Joseph Park and Austin Aries. So yeah, basically my overall thought on last night's episode was, I thought it was pretty good. A lot of action, a lot of continuing storylines and feuds going on right now in Impact Wrestling. So with that being said, this has been my review of what took place on last night's episode of Impact Wrestling. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.